After watching this, I kind of just want to look out another window. Hey everybody, what's going on? Today we are going to be talking about one of the latest movies that was supposed to be in theaters but got pushed to a streaming service. Today we are going to be talking about Amy Adams and Gary Oldman's new movie, The Woman in the Window. This movie, again, was supposed to be in theaters, but it ended up on Netflix. And part of me is glad it did. I will say this, there are probably going to be spoilers. There's some spoilers in this review. If you don't want to know anything, I will say this. I'm really glad this one didn't come to theaters because I would have felt like I wasted my money. That being said, it's free on Netflix, so I'll just say it's not the worst wannabe Hitchcock movie I've seen. That being said, it's not the best either. It's got some decent twists and turns. That being said, the main twist or the main thing that's going on that you're unsure of is pretty obvious because 9 times out of 10 in movies when there is something that is impairing our character, it ends up the same way. So it's pretty predictable in that sense. You probably won't figure out every little thing because, man, they throw a lot at you in this one. For free, I wouldn't say I recommend it, but it's free. That being said, if it's in theaters, I'd say this is a solid no for me. What this movie is about is Amy Adams plays an agoraphobic woman, and she lives alone in New York, and she likes to spy on her neighbors. Well, someone moves into this new place across the street. She ends up meeting the son and the wife of from the new neighbors. And then later on, she notices and also hears from the son that the father isn't the nicest guy. And then she looks across the window one night and she sees the wife brutally murdered. You've seen it in the trailer where the husband also all of a sudden comes over and says, "No, this is my wife," and it's a different woman. Right there should have been really, it should have been what gives away this movie, because if you really listen to the characters, the way they answer questions and what you don't see, you just are supposed to assume certain people are just acting strange, or just assume that it was this person that did this or this person that did that. And this movie just hides things way, way too out in the open, too easy. I said in my review of Spiral, they don't leave breadcrumbs, they leave croutons out for you to find. And the same is kind of for here. Again, you're not going to figure out every little twist and turn because there is a lot of things going on in this, and you're really supposed to doubt everything because our main character has an impairment. She's taking all of her pills with alcohol. So she drinks a lot. So, of course, she's impaired, right? I want to say, I can't remember the name of the movie. It was something, The Girl on the Train or something like that. Had a similar premise, I think. It's been too long since I've seen it, and I don't want to watch it again. But you're just not supposed to trust her judgment because she's on pills and drinking in this one. And you're just like, well, 9 times out of 10 in these movies, you know what the answer is going to be. Yeah, there's going to be some impairment, but you know how things are going to turn out, and it kind of does that with this one. The twists and turns might have been better if she didn't have this impairment, where you could just think that maybe she saw things wrong, or something like that if she wasn't drinking it on pills. But they use the drinking it on pills as a gigantic crutch in this. And it just kind of hurts everything that happens because that things that do happen to her, there's parts that are happening, like someone threatens her in this, and it's like, this is happening because you're watching it happen. You're not watching her in a hazy stupor look out a window. You're watching these things happen in front of her. So you can see that deep down what the answer is going to be on what she's seeing and what she's not. But again, the twists and turns would have been interesting if they didn't have the crutch of the alcohol and pills. The acting's not horrible in this. It's fine. I wouldn't say there's any standout performances or anything. There is one character that I'm like, the way they were acting, they were kind of acting like maybe they were on the autism spectrum or something, but it almost seemed like, I'm not saying the performance was bad, I'm saying that their character was a bad actor. That their character was not acting very well, as pretending to be like this character, pretending to be this person on the autism spectrum. So you're just like, gee, I wonder if this person's full of it, and sure enough they are. So yeah, the twists and turns that are happening, I mean, they just come from everywhere. There's just a lot going on. And again, I think they could have been better given the crutch, not having the crutch. The movie, it's very slow. It takes forever to really get going. I'd say at least half the movie to really get going, and it's only like an hour 40. So it just takes way too long they got to set up all the characters and everything else, so I get that. But I thought they took a little too long. There really isn't much more to say about this one. I was almost disappointed that this wasn't better. To me, again, and I said it earlier, it's a wannabe Hitchcock movie, and I've seen worse. I've seen better. In the end, I didn't enjoy this one. And it also has one of them really bad Hollywood endings when it comes to our main character. And it's just, they drive me nuts, especially when they're talking about a mental illness, a character that has a mental problem, that apparently tragedy and violence solves everything. So yeah, it just, for me, for free on Netflix, I wouldn't say it's worth watching. If it was in the theaters, I would say a solid no. But when it comes to it's at home, it would be fine. That being said, I feel like it's kind of a letdown. It is kind of a letdown movie. I thought the trailer had promise, and while there were things I liked about this movie, it just, for me, it wasn't that good. That's going to be all for this edition of Talking Movies. If you like what you've heard here, please subscribe to the Real Gino YouTube channel. Like this video. If you have anything to say about the woman in the window, please feel free to leave a comment in the section below. Till next time, I'm your host, the Real Gino, Gino Reynolds. See you later.